The following contains exclusive promotional content for the Kevin Trudeau Partner Program and is a special edition of the Kevin Trudeau Show Limitless. This is more than an interview. This is the inside story of the Kevin Trudeau Partner Program. Discover how becoming a partner could give you direct insider access to Kevin himself and the power to unlock success at the highest level.
Hi, I'm Jesse Grant, and my guest today is one of the most interesting men in the world, Kevin Trudeau. Billion-dollar businessman, the guru of modern-day marketing, energy and spiritual master, and #1 New York Times best-selling author with over 50 million books sold. Now, today we're going to talk about his fan club's partner program. Kevin, thanks for being my guest.
Glad to be here.
Now, to begin, Kevin, why do you have a fan club?
Well, it's pretty interesting. You mentioned a lot of the accolades, I guess, or accomplishments I've had over the years. I wrote many books that have sold over 50 million copies. My biggest book was called Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. And in that book, I showed people how to cure and prevent disease without drugs and surgery. I also authored a program called Your Wish is Your Command, how to manifest your desires. And I taught people how to achieve a state of consciousness or spirituality that really surpasses human comprehension. And because of that, so many people said, how can I ask Kevin a question? How can I talk to Kevin? How can I actually meet him in person? Business people, because I was called the master of modern day marketing by the Wall Street Journal and New York Times and USA Today and America's marketing guru, and because of generating billions of dollars in business, people from all over the world in business said, how can I talk to Kevin and get some coaching, some mentorship on business or marketing? And I am a pretty private person, so I didn't do that. A couple of people that bought all my books, read my teachings, followed me for many years, reached out and said, Kevin, we want to start a fan club. There are millions of people around the world that are fans and supporters of yours, and they want more of your, we'll call it teachings. They want more of your mentorship, more of your coaching, more of your marketing expertise. You know this stuff versus other people who just know about it. And a lot of the other people that teach on marketing or business or health or spirituality are really just selling books and tapes to make money. That's their business. That's how they make a living. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but they haven't established business or these higher states of consciousness or health first before they started teaching people. So I'm in a pretty unique category. So I said, okay, you guys form the fan club, and what do you want me to do? And they said, well, why don't you do a monthly Zoom call where you can actually have all of your supporters on that call and they can ask you questions. I said, okay, I guess it's a way to give back. So they started the Kevin Trudeau Fan Club, and they said, we're going to start a partner program. People can be a partner with you for just $25 a month. People can then be your partner. And then as a benefit of being a partner, they can get on a free monthly Zoom call. And depending on the partner level, they can ask you questions, and you can teach them about marketing or business or health or energy work or spirituality, or answer any of the questions from, behind the curtain, from the insiders that you know about from all the secret societies you've been associated with, being at the White House and palaces and meeting with royalty. You have all this insight that is so unique. People are just curious. They want to pick your brain. And so that's why the fan club started, and that's why the partner program started. And now people can become a partner. It's only $25 a month, and I'm not sure how long we're going to continue at that because it's pretty cheap. But every month I do a live Zoom call, and that live Zoom call, partners from all over the world actually get online for free. That's part of their partner benefit. And depending on the partner level, they can ask me questions, and I answer all the questions. Sometimes those calls go for an hour and a half. Sometimes they're on for 3 hours. Sometimes I don't get a chance to answer all the questions, so I record another question and answer session the next day and send that out to all the partners. In addition, the partners get to come to an annual partner convention. And that's free of charge. That way they can meet me in person, take a picture and so forth, ask me questions in person. I do some teaching and training, and they can meet partners from all around the world and get a chance to develop relationships and associations with like-minded, motivated people.
You have a podcast on YouTube, correct? The Kevin Trudeau Show, Limitless. Now, how is this program different than just watching your content on YouTube?
Well, my show on YouTube is also on Apple and Spotify and some of the other platforms. It's a podcast or it's a YouTube show. And I do great content. Sometimes I bring some people on and interview them. A lot of times I give teaching on different things. And it's a terrific platform. And it's free and it's wonderful. The difference is when you become a partner, you get that live Zoom where you can ask questions depending on the partner level. And we have many, many benefits. Partners also get access to the partner area of the Kevin Trudeau Fan Club website. I've been recording these monthly Zooms for quite a while. So I have virtually hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions that have been asked where I give the answer. Maybe it's a question on the law of attraction. Maybe it's a question on aliens. Maybe it's a question about Area 51. Maybe it's a question about a secret society. Maybe it's a question about how to achieve spirituality. Maybe it's a question about how do you overcome having your buttons pushed, where you have uncontrollable irrational emotions, or how do you deal with depression or sadness, or how do you deal when catastrophes happen in your life, or bad things happen in your life, or grief or loss of a loved one. So I have all these questions that have been asked to me, and I give very good in-depth answers. Those have been taken out and put in the partner area of the Kevin Trudeau Fan Club website. So if you become a partner, not only do you get all the new live Zoom calls each month, which you can participate in, but if you can't watch it, maybe you're in a different time zone or too busy that weekend, it's broken down by question and answer and then put in the library, the video library, on the Kevin Trudeau Fan Club website. So you can go there and you have access to all of the previous questions and answers. And it's searchable. So if you say, I have a question, what did Kevin talk about success or prosperity or financial management or attaining goals or the manifesting formula or how to get rid of acne or how to cure diabetes? You know, Kevin has the herpes cure, the natural cure. Did he answer that question? And you can punch that in and search and find the question and answer that you need. And you can go there and listen to it. And sometimes it's a 3 or 4 minute answer. Sometimes it's a 15-minute answer. So it's really a library of personal coaching or mentoring that you have access to that you would never have access to before. From somebody who's generated billions of dollars in sales, has tens of millions of copies of his #1 New York Times best-selling book sold, who has information on a variety of subjects, primarily the 3 pillars of success, the trifecta of success, which is health, wealth, and happiness, which we call spiritual liberation, awareness, consciousness, inner joy and bliss, and how to basically go through life feeling that you're fulfilled and satisfied. You're not searching and looking for something that you can't put your finger on. You actually achieve a level of spiritual awakening where you come out of your trance. And that's what I teach. So partnership is pretty special.
Wow. Well, it sounds like there's a variety of content available for partners. Would you say as a partner, it's more geared towards personal growth, professional development, or a little bit of both, it sounds like maybe?
It really is everything. I have a unique, I was being called the most interesting man in the world. And when I got that title, it was based on an old, I think, Dos Equis ad or something on TV. And I kind of giggled, but people said, Kevin, you really are. I mean, you have this wealth of experience and knowledge. You've been in presidential palaces. You've been with royal families. You've been with traveling with, people think I'm name dropping it, but it's the fact. Traveled the world with President Gorbachev and 4-star General Norman Schwarzkopf, and you've been with billionaires. You've hung out for a week with 35 guys whose total net worth was exceeded $1 trillion. You've been with people that no one can get close to. You have a wealth of experience and knowledge in business, manifesting huge amounts of money. You know the secrets of dynamic health, and you've studied with some of the most famous spiritual enlightened masters of all time. Swami Muktananda, Guru Mai, Krishnamurti, Sai Baba, and some people even don't know who these names are. But these were spiritually enlightened masters that I worked with, and we achieved the level of awareness and consciousness that really a handful of people on the planet have achieved. I write about this in one of my books called The Guru Kev Lessons, The State of Consciousness. So I I have some things that are pretty unique. The ability to sit down with me and pick my brain is something that a lot of people want. And I think it can be very valuable because that's what I did when I was young. I would find people that had what I wanted and have been where I was. And I said, I need to be in their presence. I need to pick their brain. Aristotle Onassis was the richest man in the world in the early 60s in shipping. And he said that if he lost all of his money, the one thing he would do was he would go to places where rich people and successful people who had a prosperity mentality hung out. And he would get in their physical presence because he said their energy rubs off. He says, yeah, it's good to pick their brain and ask questions, but just being in their presence will change you. Success rubs off. That's what Aristotle Onassis said. It's also been said and proven by science that your income is the average of your 5 best friends. Who you associate with is who you become. So this is one of the reasons why finding a mentor or a coach or becoming a partner is very significant for a person. When you become a partner, you're virtually tying into my energy. In addition to getting the Zooms and the annual partner convention, you're tying into an energetic field which rubs off. This is why in the East, people take a picture, or Christians, they take a picture of a saint and they put it in their car or in their home. Somebody in the East will take a picture of a guru. And they're not bowing to the guru, but their essence is basically permeating the room. Going in the East is called darshan, which is being in the presence of a spiritual master. And when you are in that presence, something changes on the inside. Their energy virtually rubs off. And that energy can blow things out of your field, freeing you spiritually, consciously, emotionally. When you leave the room, people say, what just happened? And that's one of the things that occurs when people become a partner with me. Not only are they going to get business advice or health advice from the books I've written, but they tap into an energy which can elevate them and help transmute some of the things in their field that are holding them back in life. They can become freer on different levels of spiritual awakening and consciousness.
What are some of the biggest success stories you've seen so far out of this partner program?
Well, again, this is something I didn't choose to do. I was kind of begged and asked for a lot of months from supporters and followers or fans because they were getting so much benefit out of my books. They read Natural Cures and they said, Kevin, my health is better than ever. They listened to or read the Your Wish is Your Command program and said, oh my God, I now have the success system that never fails. I now can manifest what I want. They listened to some of my business coaching and they said, my businesses have tripled in size because now I applied some of your business expertise or marketing expertise and I'm making more money. So these people came to me and said, but we want to plug into that energy of yours, that spiritual, enlightened, self-mastered, self-realized energy to take us to a different level, not just with money or health, but on all these other areas that we can't even put a finger on. I get stacks over the years. I got stacks at home of emails and handwritten letters from people. And I'll read you a couple of things. It says, since becoming a partner, I feel light and free. I'm sleeping better than ever. I feel like being partnered with Kevin is like being protected. I'm feeling joy like never before. A lot of people do say that they feel like they're under an umbrella of protection when they are my partner. And many people in the East, when they become a follower or devotee to a guru, they feel like they're under a layer of or an umbrella of protection. And many Christians feel that way when they have a saint, a picture of a saint in their presence. They feel like they have this protection, this umbrella of protection over them. And I think there's a lot of, truth to that as well. Giving a gift to Kevin, and the reason we call it giving a gift, because when somebody becomes a partner, even though they are getting the monthly Zooms and they're getting access to the library with all the questions and answered and virtual personal coaching and mentoring from me, you are getting something about, you're really just giving a gift. So it says giving a gift to Kevin and being a partner has been life-changing. I never thought about giving, but after reading all the lessons on giving, I wrote a lot of lessons on the power of giving and that the secret of living is giving. After I read those lessons on giving, I thought I would give it a try. It's all true. The universe is giving back to me in so many ways. You can't outgive the universe. There's another one. I became a partner with Kevin because I believe in his work and mission to positively impact people's lives, and I wanted to help. I feel connected to him in a very special way. 2 months after I became a partner, I got an unexpected raise at work, and a large amount of money due me for many years that I forgot about came in. I feel like daily miracles in my life are natural now since becoming a partner. It is the power of giving and action. There is a technology or a truth that what you give will come back. What you sow, you reap. J.D. Rockefeller, the richest man who ever lived, at least that we know of, because he was worth in today's dollars $800 billion in today's money, he said that he started to tithe, give 10% of his income, which is a biblical principle. He started to give 10% of his income or tithe when he got his first job earning $1.50 a week. And he said, it is that giving which is what caused me to become wealthy. And it is so critical. Very wealthy people always give a large percentage of their income to charities and different things because they understand the power of giving and receiving. I became a partner and sent Kevin several questions. While I was sleeping, I got all the answers in a dream. Wow. I feel totally at peace. Now I know you're like, oh, it's true, because when I get the questions, I actually read every question and I answer them energetically. You wouldn't believe the number of people who say, Kevin, I got the answer in a dream. Because I go into a higher dimension when I answer the question, in a dimension where there's no time and space. And someone says, what do you mean no time and space? Look, scientists have proven that there is something called the 0 point field, which is in between the electron and the nucleus of an atom. It's that space. In this space, everything is connected. There's no time and space. There's no matter, energy, space, and time. This is quantum physics. We know this because scientists have taken DNA. They take the DNA, they put it in a petri dish right here, and they show you a picture of a murder, which is cringy.
Yeah.
The DNA contracts. So as soon as you see that picture, the DNA in the petri dish contracts instantaneously. They show you a picture of a baby or some puppies, and guess what happens to the DNA? It expands.
Wow.
Instantaneously. So scientists said, let's take it further. Let's take that petri dish and put it on the other side of the globe. Let's put it in a room filled with lead where no radio waves can get in, no cell phones. It's a complete, nothing get in there. On the other side of the globe, you're sitting here. They're testing your DNA. They show you the picture of the murder. Your DNA contracts instantaneously, and at the same moment, with no time lag, your DNA across the globe in that cube contracts as well.
Wow.
This shows there's no time and space, and it shows that your thoughts are instantaneously picked up around the world. So when someone sends me a question, I respond, and it's picked up by a person's brain. This has been determined because we know that the brain is a receiver and transmitter of frequency. I broadcast the frequency on a very specific brain wave in between alpha and theta. So it instantly affects your brain and goes in. Now, you may not consciously hear the answer, but this is why people pick it up when they're sleeping. At a certain partner level, you can also send in we call it an energy request. You can call it a prayer request, but I'm not a minister. But you're sending in a request for help, and it's like a question, but I can send energy as well. Let me read something else. I became a $100 a month partner. Now, partnerships start at $25.
I was just going to ask about the different levels.
Yeah, you can start at $25 a month, and we have a QR code people can click on, and they can see all the different availabilities of partnership and all the benefits. And some of them, they get a signed book. Some of them, they get a signed photo. At some levels, I actually invite you to dinner once a year with me. It's only for certain partner levels and above, where you can come in and we have a wonderful evening together. And then at another level, you get 2 dinners, 2 invitations where you can come in and we have a wonderful dinner together. I became a $100 a month partner with Kevin and went on the Zoom calls where Kevin answers the questions of the partners. These calls are amazing. I can feel his energy during the call and power. I learned so much and have applied it in my life. This stuff works. But most importantly, I feel Kevin pouring his love out to me during the Zoom call. I see lights and feel energy moving up my spine during the calls. After, I feel expanded and feel like he cleared all of my negative energy and emotions. I smile all day and things in life simply don't bother me anymore. I will always be a partner with Kevin. It sounds a little esoteric, but when you have so many people from personal experience reporting this independently or from around the world, we have partners all over the world. It's real and it's tangible.
I think it's pretty amazing too, using the word partner, right? Instead of member. This
Right.
partner, someone that you are having this relationship with and this ongoing relationship with, right?
Yeah, and it's really special. The partners send money in, the money goes into the fan club, and that money is used for good works. It's used to do things, to write more books, to expand the YouTube show, to give more free content out. And we turn around and do things for the partners as well. So it's not a nonprofit where people send money into like a church and you pay for things, but the money that goes into the partner program is really helping me on my mission and purpose, which is to positively impact people around the world, increasing their standard of living and quality of life, freeing them. And if somebody says, if there's a bottom line purpose of your life, today it's to take people out of their trance. And somebody says to me, Kevin, you've been called a spiritual master, an enlightened person, a guru, a spiritual guru, a self-realized being. Look, I'm awake. Most people are asleep. The definition of guru is to dispel the darkness that you are in. Enlightenment simply means to bring light where there's darkness. Most people are asleep. They're in darkness. And what we do from a spiritual perspective is enlighten. We turn the light on. We take you out of your trance. We take you out of your sleep, where you become awake. And that's really the difference. In addition to teach you marketing and sales and how to make money in business. But people say, well, you can't have both. You can't be spiritual and material. There is something that we've coined, and it's called spiritual materialism. They are the same. You can be completely spiritual and drive a Rolls Royce. When I go home, I hop in my Rolls Royce or I hop in my Mercedes. You can have all the things in life you want. They're not mutually exclusive. The difference is you can't be attached to material things. There was a phrase that says, love people and use things, instead of loving things and using people. And that's really the difference.
It sounds like this program, being a partner, is really great for kind of a variety of different ways: personal growth, professional development, whether you're looking for success financially or kind of through other avenues. What kind of transformation do you think people can expect being a partner in your program?
Well, first off, the partner program is not for everybody. And some people just, it's not for everybody. But there are a lot of people who join, and we ask them, why did you join? A lot of people joined and said, I want to get rich. And Kevin, you're rich. And you're the marketing master of the last century. You're a legend in marketing. You've built businesses all over the world. You've done billions in sales. I want to know the sales and marketing techniques so I can make money as well. I want to be able to pick your brain. I want to be able to learn from you, because so many people that are on the internet today, and I won't mention names, but these are big guys. They call me up and go, Kevin, I got a $300 million a year business. And it's because I dissected all of your marketing techniques. You're the guy who I learned from, even though we never met. And they go, I want to be a partner now so I can ask you questions directly. So we have really successful people joining the partner program just so they can ask business questions or marketing questions. And a lot of people join for that reason. There's a lot of people join because they go, Kevin, you're a member of a secret society. You've been to the Bilderberg meetings. I mean, Alex Jones talks about the Bilderberg meetings and the Bohemian Grove, and you've been there. You've actually been to Skull and Bones Island. That's like, I want to know what's behind the curtain. You've been to Area 51. All right, Bob Lazar's been there too, and he worked on the alien craft. He's been on the Joe Rogan show. I said, I want to know what you know. I want to be able to pick your brain. You're like a fascinating fellow. You've been with kings and crown princesses, invite you to their presidential palace. You're with prime ministers. I want to know some of that stuff. So people are just curious, and they join for that reason. And then there's a lot of people who say, Kevin, I read your book, Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. That book was the #1 best-selling book in all of America the year that came out. It's 20 years ago now. 2005 it came out. It was #1 for 26 weeks in a row on the New York Times best-selling list. #1 for 26 weeks in a row. It's half the year. And it was the best-selling book in all of America. So many people say, I read that book and it completely changed my life. I want to know more. I have more questions about health and longevity and anti-aging and all that stuff. So there's a variety of reasons why people join. And then there's I would say a smaller group that say, Kevin, I want to be enlightened. I want to be self-realized. And you're a master, but you're not Indian. I can't follow somebody who has like dirt all over their face with a long beard and they're in a loincloth and they don't bathe. Okay, maybe they're self-realized and enlightened, but they talk about Ganesh, Hanuman, the monkey god, and I can't follow that. I don't believe, I'm not a Hindu. So even though they may be really spiritually enlightened, it just doesn't resonate with me. You wear a suit and a tie and a Rolex watch and drive a Rolls, that kind of resonates. You're a Western guy, but you also have this, you emanate this beam of love, and I want to tie into that. Yeah. So there's a lot of people that want spiritual freedom and liberation on various levels and dimensions. They want to become conscious and aware and awake, and that's why they become a partner.
That's fantastic. And there's such a variety of kind of information.
It really is. I'll give you a couple more.
Yeah, please.
Being a partner with Kevin is magical. Since I started, I lost 30 pounds. Wow. Got 5 job offers, paying much more than my current job, and even got an offer to go into business with a local multimillionaire. How this all works, I don't fully understand, but the power of giving and being connected to Kevin seems to bring blessings into your life without effort. When I became a partner with Kevin, I was suffering from depression and bouts of anger. Everything in life was hard. I was behind on my bills. Within 3 months, my whole life has changed, and most importantly, I have changed. All my bills are now paid in full. Being a partner with Kevin is like tapping into his power and energy and getting his blessings by being connected to him. This man is special. Wow. We have so many comments from people. Wow. Since becoming a partner, my life has changed in spectacular ways. I received everything from a job that has tripled my yearly income, happy daily living, what seems to be negativity immunity, to a beautiful Mercedes, 100% paid in full, title in hand. Wow. It's really crazy, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around all this, but one thing I know for sure is that it's not a coincidence. This happened in just a few months after I became a partner. Again, these are real emails and letters from real people that came in. Here's one that came in on Telegram, I think, or YouTube, or Instagram. Hello to the best mentor in the world, Kevin Trudeau. I would like to say, when I decided to become a partner, I was earning very little, and it was hard for me to even become a bronze partner. But miraculously, a week after I became a partner, my income doubled. Wow. After becoming a partner since it started a few weeks after, I met my soulmate in an unrealistic way. In short, being a partner was the best decision I ever made, as is associating with Kevin. Thank you for sending energy toward my marriage last month. Remember, I said at certain levels of partnership, you can send in an energy request. You could call it a prayer request, but again, I'm not a minister. And when these come in, sometimes there's a stack this big. I read every single one, and I send energy to that person and their situation. Now, this is interesting because there's a book, you may have heard of it, called The Field by Lynn Taggart. In this book, it is a scientific book because Lynn Taggart was a researcher, and she said, all this energy stuff is BS because there's no scientific documentation. It's all anecdotal evidence. So she went out to find if there was any scientific research on, quote, energy or prayer or intention or the law of attraction. She found it. And it wasn't one study. It was thousands of studies that have been published in peer-reviewed journals. It's never reported on.
Wow.
So she published the best ones in there, and there's one that was really powerful. She said the researchers went and took groups of sick people, and they said, okay, here's sick people, 50 sick people, 50 sick people, 50 sick people. Then we'll have a group pray for those sick people. So this group will pray to Jesus. This group will pray to Allah. This group will pray to Hashem, the Jewish group. This group will pray to the underground spider god. True. I'm not kidding. I'm not making that up. The underground spider god. This group is atheists. They'll just send positive energy and say, I hope you get better. That's what they'll do. And then some groups will get nothing done. At the end of the research, every group that had positive intention or prayer or energy sent, every group dramatically improved.
Wow.
The only group that didn't improve was the group that got nothing. It shows that sending energy, even a layperson, whether you're praying to the spider god to heal the individual and make them better, or praying to nobody, get better. It worked. It created identical results, or the statistically insignificant change, right?
Yeah.
They were all the same results, depending on. So the point is, sending energy works. When you go to somebody who is we'll call them an energy master, like a Reiki master, they've been trained to move energy more powerfully than somebody who hasn't been trained. When you go to somebody who has a level of awareness and spirituality or consciousness in the higher dimensions, they can do things with energy that the layperson has no chance of doing. It improves or moves energy much stronger. And this is evidence. There's machines right now. You can put a device on your head. They sell this like I saw it on one of the airlines. There was a magazine and it sold this device. You could buy it for your house. You put this thing on your head and there's a ball here and you think, move up, and the ball moves.
Wow.
Your thoughts transmit into the antenna of the machine, into the ball, and it moves it in various directions. This shows you that your brain broadcasts. But here's the thing though. When I put this thing on, I can make that ball fly across the room. Where someone else, it moved. But when I said move, it shot like out of a gun. They went boom, and they were like, how did you do that? I go, I broadcast stronger with more intensity at a higher frequency. That's how the brain works. There's other machines. There was a TV show, I think it was on the Discovery Channel, called Superhuman. And the guy could move energy. There was a ball in the middle of this machine. You're the researcher. The ball's right here. And the guy has his hands on each side of the ball. And he goes, I'm going to move it that way. And the ball goes, vroom. He goes, now I'm going to move it that way. Vroom. Because energy, they called it chi energy, comes out of the palm of the hand and moves. That's why Tai Chi is the movement of chi energy. In Japan, it's called ki, K-I. So when people send in energy requests, I work with them, and this is what you hear. Thank you for sending energy toward my marriage last month. This request was for help in their marriage. My marriage has miraculously improved. Here's another one.
Incredible.
My gold partnership has been magnificent. Partnership has helped to bring about my future wife. They sent in a request. They wanted a relationship. I sent energy. You can call it a prayer request, but it's moving matter in the universe. The partner calls have been priceless. And I recently won $300 in a giveaway. So partnership is really something that I think everybody should consider. It's only $25 a month.
I was just going to say that 300 you pay for years of it. Right
It starts at 25. It goes up at different levels. But if somebody wants to be able to pick my brain or listen to me about a variety of subjects, I think it's the value of the century, because you just can't get that.
I was just going to say, I mean, I think investing in yourself and your own health is one of the best things you can do, right? And 25 a month, I mean, I'll spend that much on a cup of coffee, at times. And the value you get, and the various levels you can go from there, but to be able to access you directly and speak to you directly for 25 a month is incredible.
Yeah, and I don't know how long I'm going to make this available. Again, this is something that I didn't choose to do or want to do. I accepted this. It was people were begging to do this. There were so many millions of supporters and people that have purchased my books and different programs who really wanted the opportunity to meet me and pick my brain and learn from me and have me be their mentor or success coach. And after many months of begging, I capitulated and said, okay, but I do have a full plate. And they said, all you have to do is one Zoom call a month. And then that became, and 1 month and one annual convention. And that became, and just one dinner, with your partners. Oh, make it 2 dinners, make it 2 dinners. And you just need to sign books and take pictures with partners. And I'm like, wait a minute, how did that continue to get straight? They say, we learned from you, Mr. Trudeau, how to manifest our desires. And our desire is to learn more from you and get more from you, and it's happening. So I feel now very blessed because I get these stacks of letters and emails and telegram messages from people all around the world who are getting benefits from the partner program. So I know we have a QR code on the screen. People can click on that. They can get more information about the Kevin Trudeau fan club. They can learn more about the partner program. It starts at $25 a month and there's various levels. Pick the level that resonates with a person the most. And I just will say that if a person does want to do this, don't pick a high level that will put you under any financial pressure. Do what you can do. It's okay to sacrifice. If you need to stop going to Starbucks, that's okay. But don't put yourself under any financial pressure, and you will be getting some tremendous value from the program.
Just lastly, finally, and you've mentioned it a few times before, who do you think would benefit the most from jumping into this partner program?
Someone who resonates with what I am saying. If listening to me resonates with you, if reading one of my books like Natural Cures resonates, if listening to Your Wish is Your Command resonates, if the idea of spiritual freedom and liberation resonates, if the idea of being free from uncontrollable and irrational emotions, not being able to be triggered anymore, not being able to have your buttons pushed resonates, if improving your relationship resonates, then become a partner. If none of that stuff resonates, then this is not for you.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it could resonate for a lot of people. Kevin, thank you for coming by today and talking about the partner program there with your fan club. And everyone in studio and everyone tuning in, thanks so much. Once again, this is Jesse Grant with Kevin Trudeau. We'll see you next time.